we will be talking, you now bring the evidence. Any other thing saying, when I was coming with the evidence, he fell down in my hand, it's too heavy, the lion eat it, my daddy went to the farm with the evidence. It's like you don't have evidence.
I may want to look for the evidence. Let me ask you my direct question first. Are you scared to answer my question?
No. I don't know what question you have.
You don't have the right to ask that thing. You are the one. You are scared to bring out evidence. You are asking someone if they are scared to answer your question. What are you doing?
I don't have the evidence.
You are talking facts free.
I'm going to search for
and you are not asking that kind of question.
It's a very simple question.
No, but you don't have the right to ask
yes and no question.
You have been talking facts free since, so you can't be saying that.
It's a yes or no question. I don't see what's wrong with that.
No, you don't have the right to ask yes or no question. They've asked you everything. You've not been able to bring out anything, so you don't have that right to be interrogating someone on bring out something for me. You want to ask respectfully. That's just it.
Did I ask rudely? I say, can I ask you a question? Is that not respectfully?
You don't have that right. That is a yes or no. You should be asking you yes. Have you answered a yes or no here today?
Post it.
Yes, I have.
Evans, ask your question.
Olabola, can you beat your chest to say Benin was not an empire?
Oh yeah, it's not. Absolutely not.
And they said you are a professor?
Is that the question?
Yes.
Oh, really?
But he's been answering that.
I thought it was one difficult question to answer.
No, I thought you said yes or no question. It's a simple question. Why would I ask you a difficult question? If you can answer a simple question, you could.
Did I answer it already?
Yeah, you answered your question. You answered it. No problem.
Right, is there another question?
Evans, you're supposed, because Olabula was asking, you're supposed to prove to him, but you don't have the evidence. Maybe you can come some other time.
How will I know he was going to ask that question? I don't have the evidence on hand. I will search for it.
You think I knew you will come here today, then you think I have superpowers?
We are saying the same thing, right?
So I did not know you will come, but I still brought it out because we are in a digital age. It's electronic. It's not something in a shelf, in a book that you want to go and play the video from a book. You don't play video from a physical book now. It's electronic material.
You do podcasts every time. You go online every time. I don't go online. So you are being...
Because I go online, that means that what? I don't even...
You are being in the forefront of this media saga. I don't do online.
So this is the lesson that you people should learn. Anytime you want to say something, check your pocket very well before you talk. You check, this thing I want to say, do I have the evidence in my pocket already? Yes. If the answer is yes, say what you want to say. If the answer is no, use your two fingers, hold your lips until you have the evidence in your pocket. Because you would make yourself look somehow when you say something. You say something. After saying it, you would give the impression that we should take you seriously, and then you will say there is no evidence, that the evidence is coming later when we are done with the space. I will show this person in the back, at the back end. Nobody will know about it. I will post it in my page. I will. You just be saying I will. Bring the evidence. Thank you.
Evans 780. Evans, are you still there? Evans, are you still there? Professor Labala, he said something. He said Benin ruled Lagos. You've not debunked that. He talked about Cotonou.
When they say Benin ruled Lagos, it's a way to model up the relationship between Lagos and Benin. And the Yorùbá people, we have to be very careful when it comes to this point. This is what I have found. We see two extremes in this case. The answer is not in any of the extreme. The answer is not in the right extreme. The answer is not in the left. So Benin people maintain one extreme. Some Yoruba people maintain another extreme. Guess what? Both of you are wrong. So what are the two extremes? The extreme is that Benin Kingdom ruled Lagos. That's Benin. Wrong. What about some Yoruba? Benin never had any relationship with Lagos. Wrong also. So now that both are wrong, I will give 3 seconds to take it in for both sides to know that, okay, what I'm thinking in my head is always wrong. So I haven't allowed that to sink in. The next question now is, what is the right thing? So the right answer is somewhere in the middle, not in those two extremes. So denying the relationship with Benin is wrong. Saying Benin ruled Lagos is also wrong. So the relationship with Benin is that a certain prince Awori prince from Isheri. In summary, there is a man from Isheri, he's an Awori. Because he's Awori from Isheri, it means that he has a relationship with Lagos area in Edo. Isheri is also in Lagos, but in northern Lagos. This prince has a relationship with Edo and Eko. He's a prince. He sought to rule Eko and establish a monarchy there. There's details to why he sought that thing and all that. He sought to rule. And some of the people living there are immigrants. Ijebu immigrants, Ilaje immigrants, Benin immigrants. They were living there. He sought alliance with the Benin party, the Benin king. He got backing and support from that Benin king to be able to establish the monarchy of his dream. Lobaton, that's a relationship.
Olabola.
I'll say it. Hold on. Let that thing that I just said sink into, if not into you, I mean, because you have a information block, nothing can enter. Let it sink into our people. I'll say it one more time. A Yoruba prince, Ashipa, sought to rule Eko, which he has some connection with because he is Awori. He formed alliance with the immigrants, the Benin king in particular here, who acted like his godfather and backed him up to establish the monarchy of his dreams. Lobaton. Everything else is a fallout, like trickle-down effect of this thing I just explained. So what is everything? Oh, that man who has a relationship. So what relationship does this man have with Benin? What do you call this relationship? Anybody? Give it any name in your mind. Based on what I've explained, what do you call the relationship between this Yoruba man and the Benin king?
Agreement.
Yeah, but it's an agreement between somebody saying somebody should sponsor him, back me, support me to establish what. So what's the kind of this agreement? You can be creative with the name. Diplomatic relation, business, alliance, and so on. I mean, that's a deity in law.
Business.
So it's just a kind of political agreement. Patronage and so on. So it's a patron and protege. I'm going to protege. So when you have a Baba Saleh, so your Baba Saleh is the patron, you are the protege. So it's a patron and protege alliance. It's a patron and protege contract. It's a patron and protege agreement. It's a kind of political agreement. But the agreement is even one step deeper than that. So that's it. So the one step deeper is that Yoruba man married into the family of, she married into Lomanko, but married from the family of that Benin king. He married a child. So what kind of the agreement now? Agreement has become two types now. So can you type out the two types of relationship now? The relationship has become of two-fold now, not just one-fold. The first one was a political one, godfather, whatever name we call it. And the second one is now he has married a daughter of that king. So a type méjèèjì segbe around the two types of relationship. Not only one, type both next to each other. This and this. Something and something. Exactly. Only one lesson called Madam Adiankara. You are still writing one. I want you to type two. So when you type those two with your hand, it will be difficult for your mind to forget what you use your hand to type. So that's why. So if you were wondering, why does he tell us to type? The idea is that when you are typing, you are using a lot of your mind and consciousness and presence. So it is more difficult for you to forget what you use your hand to type. Thank you very much. So it's a political agreement, alliance, and as well as a marital alliance. So that the child that was born in that marital alliance, that child is called Ado. Everybody has heard that about King Ado. So King Ado, that he was born by his mom, obviously. He was born and raised in Benin. He was raised in the palace culture, etc., etc. So later on, he came to Lagos to continue from where his father stopped. This is the relation. But guess what? Let me ask you a question. Does anyone think here that thing that the Benin king supported him to do, it would have been free of charge? The Benin king was just doing it because he's a good man, he has a lot of money to spend, to waste. Does anyone believe it is free of charge?
Olabola, do you believe this your fairy tale?
Hold on. Just relax. Like I will be, anytime you think you would have short life, I would always promise you long life. You will have long life, you will still talk.
So you mean the Oba of Benin
you will have long life, you will still talk. Hold on. You have long.
Evans, you will have some time to talk because you have to drop your own submission too when he finished.
So yeah. So most people say that in that agreement, it could not be free of charge. If one person is being a sponsor, a backbone, a support, it could not be free of charge. He must be getting something in return. That thing in return, owó tí àwọn royal family Lagos máa ń san fún Ọba Benin nígbà yẹn, based on the agreement. So as long as the kingdom continues to exist, this one that I want to be your backbone to establish, as long as that your kingdom continues to exist, you must remit something in appreciation, in gratitude. Umama remit in kankan from Oba Benin. So that is the return for what Oba of Benin did. So that means that Oba of Benin was not a Father Christmas. That is the relationship. So notice what I have done now. I have debunked on one hand those who wants to say Benin ruled Lagos. No, it was Yoruba people who ruled Lagos. And those who want to say Benin has no relationship with Lagos, that also has been debunked. And what have we done? We've located the history back to its proper balanced narrative in the middle, neither to the left extreme nor to the right extreme. So just to knock it in one last time, a Yoruba man sought to rule in Eko. It's a Yoruba man from Isheri. In that place he wants to rule, there are a lot of Ari. Ari. Does anybody know Ari is? Ari. Ari. Anyone? You can unmute. You can unmute and tell us the answer. Anybody knows what Ari is? Evans, you know what Ari is?
Orin Ari.
Ari, immigrants. Thank you. So that place where he wants to establish his kingdom, there's a lot of Ari in that place. People who came from different places to come and trade. So he sought the alliance, he sought the support of the immigrants, particularly the king of one of those immigrant group, the king of Benin. He sought their support, and they entered into an agreement, a political alliance, a patron/protege pact, a patron/protege deal. They entered into it. And then the king.
I'm surprised you're not calling it a treaty.
You can call it any name, treaty, it doesn't matter. They entered inside the agreement. So in that agreement, which cannot be free of charge, the Benin king, being the backbone, must also get something in return. So Oba Benin based on the agreement. So that is the political arrangement. Now, in addition to that, I said there is one more level to the relationship. Apart from the political relationship, there is one more level to the relationship. There is a marital relationship. He married a daughter of the Benin king that produced a child called that famous King Ado that we know, that famous one. Yeah, who became the first official king. His father, this man I'm talking about, this Yoruba man, is like an unofficial king, a quasi king. But the son from that marriage is the first official king. So now this picture I've painted has cancelled the two extremes. Benin did not come to Lagos and conquer and take it by force and install a child of the Oba of Benin. No, all those stories are lies.
We did not conquer Lagos. We founded a coup.
Yeah, so anyone you want to say, they are all lies. What I've just narrated is what you have evidence for in the traditions of Lagos. Anything you are bringing has no evidence or backing in the tradition of Lagos, and has no evidence, has no backing in actual history when we scrutinize, but at least not in the traditions of Lagos. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
No, Evans, wait. I would like you to also explain, because Alavala have explained and put an evidence, because you've made a claim, and it is also good, because the viewers also want to know
okay, let me see this.
Have for your claims that
all right, okay, let me see this.
Conquer Lagos. Yes.
Normally, the average Benin man does not like water, but our prince who founded Lagos was first of all sent to Portugal to be an ambassador. We had an embassy in Portugal. The Portuguese had an embassy in the Benin Empire, though you might want to call it a trading post. But yesterday's trading post is today's embassy. So I would say they had an embassy in Benin Empire. So he was a sailor because he has gone to Portugal on ship. So he liked the water. So he was the one that was going through the Atlantic belt and founded Eko, empty place, empty island, not the whole of Lagos State, the area they call Eko. There was no name for that area until he named it Eko. If not, you guys should tell me the name of that area before it was named Eko. It does not have any other name. When we got there was nobody. He was a warrior. He liked the sea. No other Benin king liked sea apart from him because he already was in Portugal. That was how he went to all those areas. So we founded that place. It was because we were there, because of his relationship with Portugal. The Portuguese started coming.
Mr. Evans, what's the name of that your king? I hope it is not Orogua.
Orogua.
Is it Orogua?
Yes,
Orogua that was chased to Lagos by Mahi people. That's the
finish.
person you are telling us went to Portugal to become a Orogua that couldn't even enter. That it was the Shekiri people that put him on the boat and gathered him to Lagos. That's the sailor you have proven to us here, because there is document to show that Orogua was afraid of water. That's the person you are telling us loved water. Oh, you know, continue your lies. Oh, we are coming back.
Don't worry. Let me finish.
Bele,
He was a sailor. He went to Portugal. He was the one that even brought the
brought out
Portuguese.
any evidence since. So
Listen, let me finish. Olabala didn't bring evidence when he was talking now. So he was the one that brought the Portuguese to Lagos.
Wait, which one did I not bring evidence for?
what do you mean Olabola did not?
He just narrated his own story of Lagos.
How many things have how many claims have I made? How many issues? How many topics? We've talked about
Lagos now.
So wait, we've talked about, hold on now. We've talked about two things, Ghana and Lagos, correct?
Yes, I'm talking of Lagos now.
Relax, your mind, your life will be long. Don't worry. Stop. When you are too fast, you are trying to tell us that your life will be short. It will be long.
I didn't interrupt you when you were talking. Maybe I should.
No. A question was asked and you were answering it wrongly. So I'm saying two things we've talked about, Ghana and Lagos, correct? For Ghana, I brought the evidence. You brought nothing. 1-0. For Lagos, fair enough, I haven't brought evidence and I know you will not bring. I will bring evidence and you will not bring. So it will be 2-0. Continue.
Good. So it's because he was formerly in Portugal. He was one that brought the Portuguese to Lagos for the Portuguese to name it Lagos. Lagos is a Portuguese name.
Liar. He didn't bring any Portuguese to Lagos. Orogua didn't bring any Portuguese to Lagos.
Madam, let me finish now. Then you can speak there. It was because of the Portuguese that he brought.
Evans, please wait. You continue. I was actually waiting when Evans finished so that Evans can bring his evidence, because Evans said Olabala did not bring evidence, but Olabala brought one evidence. And if you want the evidence about that Lagos, I believe he is also going to bring it. But Evans, if you're talking, I just want you to finish so that I can ask you that, okay, what is the evidence? Is there something to show? Like, that is how, because we just talking.
Olabala, let me finish now. Then we'll talk about evidence later.
Continue. You can continue.
So it was because he brought the Portuguese to Lagos. They named it Lagos. That was what attracted the other Yorùbás to start coming there, because of the trade that was not going on with the Portuguese and the Benin's and their worries that was not coming. Everybody was not coming there. The Oba of Lagos has said it repeatedly. For you to be a chief in Lagos or to you be an Oba, you have to pay homage to the Oba of Benin. Benin can never appoint a non-Benin person to be a king. It was never done. You have to be a Benin person for a Benin king to appoint you a king in any place, whether in Ekiti or in Ondo or in Lagos or in Asaba or anywhere. So for you to say Ashikba was a Yoruba, that is pure lie. Are you saying there was no Benin to be appointed a king? For him to appoint a Yoruba person to be in charge of where they founded? Eko had no other name. If there was
when did I say Benin founded Lagos? When did I tell you that?
No, I didn't. I'm talking of
you are saying your own. You are now putting a question to me in the context of your own life.
No, what I'm saying is a place we founded. How can we now appoint a Yoruba person?
But I did not agree with you that you founded it now. When did
I'm quoting my own story.
Oh, okay. So why are you mixing my own narrative into your own story?
I'm saying.
So I'm telling you that you did not found it.
What I'm saying is, since we founded it, there is no way we could have put a non-Benin person to be king over there. So what I'm saying is, Ashikba was a Benin person. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Is that what you're saying?
Evans, for an intelligent...
Let's go to the second stage. After, so If you
Professor Ejo ẹ jẹ́ n sọ ìtàrí sọ nǹkan. Evans fẹ́.
ẹjọ ẹ má bínú kẹ́ tó sọ nǹkan, ṣé mo lè send àwọn kan sí yín ní Telegram títí yín? Tẹ́ bá lè ṣe hi lórí general Telegram.
When the British conquered Lagos,
Hold on, no. I beg you. Tẹ́ bá lè ṣe hi lórí general Telegram, màá send àwọn kan tẹ́ máa bá mi ṣe lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan, ẹ máa bá mi gbé síbẹ̀.
can I quickly say this? Can I conclude?
Go on.
Yes, when the British conquered Lagos, there was no Yoruba king that was informed or that tried to mobilize to save Lagos. It was all Benin affair. We gathered warriors to go to Lagos to fight the British. When information came to us that though Lagos has fallen, but they did not depose the king. That was why we did not send our warriors. The Oba of Benin said, okay, the warriors should disperse since the king is still intact. It was all Benin affair. So for you people to say Lagos was not under Benin, you guys are being mischievous. We have to say the facts here. This is one of the reasons why this media battles will not end, because you guys are being economical with the truth. We are not dragging Lagos with you. We are only saying in ancient time, this is what happened.
Evans, you say you don't insult. Sure, you have seen how you have been insulting us. Don't cry when we start with you. Don't cry. That we have been economical with the truth. We are lying. You have said all your.
So if we insult him, he would say we insulted him because he was saying the truth. We will pretend that
is not a direct insult. I say it means be economical with the truth. It's like saying you are not saying the truth.
Just let us know when you are done.
I'm done.
All right.
Evans, I have it. Okay, that's very good.
Two things. This thing that you say, are you going to provide evidence, or hold on? Are you going to say the evidence was with my grandfather, but he has gone to a farm? I was coming with the evidence. Lion now eats the evidence. The evidence is too heavy. I cannot carry it.
Okay, number one evidence. Go to
no, I'm not going anywhere. It is you who will bring that thing here.
It's in Lagos.
You will bring it. See, that's how it works. Notice when I said the evidence, I posted it for you. I played it. Everybody heard it with their 2 ears. You can even send it to this man. So that is how it works. Number two, you have not provided evidence. So mute and be looking for the evidence. Number two, everything you said. Oh, relax. Everything you said here, every single point you made, guys, every single point he made here, as you heard it, hold it and throw it away. You know why? Because he did not provide evidence. That's how it should work. No evidence was provided. Carry everything. If you were already swallowing it, vomit it inside the toilet and flush until he brings evidence. Then he will serve you afresh. No evidence was provided. Now let me debunk you. To debunk you, all I will just say is I will be saying, I debunk you, I debunk you, I debunk you. No, I will not say that. Most people on TikTok, that's how they debunk. They will just unmute and say, you are a liar, you are a liar. They will say it like 63 times. After they say 63 times, they will say, hey, I have debunked you. No, that's not how it works. To debunk somebody, you have to bring evidence for everything you've said and address everything they said, especially if they bring evidence for their own. If they don't bring evidence for their own, I don't have to address it. But I will bring evidence for everything I said. Hey, John Toriolong, I'm going to begin sending things to Mr. Yoruba Global now, so we can see it for ourselves. And you people, oh God, you founded Lagos.
Ó ní ọba wọn jẹ́ ambassador ní Portugal. Mo gbọ́ yẹn rí, ìyẹn tún lágbára.
Bó bá tẹ wọn kọ ṣe rí àwọn yẹn ò tiẹ̀ kàn wá. Ibi tó bá wọn kọ bá wọn lọ, bó bá wọn kó lọ fáwọn di Japan, bó bá wọn kó lọ fáwọn South Africa. Tèmi ṣáà ni kó má kó ṣe ẹ̀dẹ̀. Even though àmọ̀ pé rọ́nà ní gbogbo ẹ̀. So Mr. Okay, yeah. Mo ti send the kan báyọ̀.
I listen how to do your hair for you.
Ṣẹ́rí ìgbójú tí wọ́n fi máa ń sọ̀rọ̀. Okay, ẹ ṣì máa send nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ̀ send Professor Labola. Ìgbójú táwọn ará bíi fi máa ń sọ̀rọ̀, ó máa ń wà annoying, honestly. Wọ́n á máa sọ lamba, wọ́n á máa accuse others of saying lamba, wọn ò sì ní any references for what they claim. Ẹ wò báyìí, aláìní tìjú, ó dẹ̀ ń sọ, ó ń jábọ́ lẹ́nu ẹ̀ bíi pé ọ̀rọ̀ gidi ló ń sọ lẹ́nu. kó bring evidence báyìí ó ní kẹ́ lọ sí nǹkan tí Èkó kọ ń bó ní evidence nǹkan tó sọ wà ó ní ká lọ síbi tí Èkó.
máa post yẹn gbọ́ máa ní nǹkan tó kọ sí website Lagos
bí táàrí nǹkan tẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kọ òun onírọ́ ó wá ní gbàásgbòs kí gbàásgbòs máa end náà we will àjọ máa sọ fúnra wa ni àjọ máa sọ history lọ ni we will continue to show the world your life with references, with evidence. Orogua was an ambassador to Portugal. He was the one who brought Portuguese to Lagos. Orogua that lived like 50 or 70 years after Portuguese don't come Nigeria. Now that Orogua come bring the Portuguese. We don't come to West Africa before he ever existed to Lagos. Only Lamba. Professor Olabola prepare kini ẹ jẹ́ kí n máa fún lájàsà kan tó prepare kan tó fẹ́ prepare tán. They need such àjàsà. And they will not be beating chest with their lying. Beating chest.
On beat
Hello. Can I ask you something?
No, Mr. Evans, one by one now. You just finished talking. Let's debunk.
Nobody is talking now.
We asked you if you had finished. You said you had finished. So why do you not want to ask something again? Didn't you say you had finished?
Nobody is talking now. Olabola wants to say something. And so
but I was talking. I thought
you had finished. I thought you had finished.
No, I was talking to my people. You should. Oh yeah, Professor Olabola. I did bad you.
In fact, there is one more. There is one more.
Okay. You found. Some time ago I made a video where I said people should be careful with the word found and established. You can't just go everywhere. Now, when you were talking, you also were talking about Ekiti. You were talking about Ondo State. Now, the funny thing about this history that you people chest beat on the social media is that you will come on the social media and be the indigenous of those places will be telling you they are not from the kingdom. You will come on the social media and be telling them it was your kingdom that founded them. Such arrogance, such blatant arrogance.
Madam, we don't say we found any place in Ondo Ekiti. We didn't say that. The only thing we say they are royalty.
What you said about Owo, what you said about Owo. Now let me tell you something about that Owo.
I didn't say we founded Owo.
You said the dressing Owo.
Yes, we didn't found Owo, but was under our kingdom. We
never under your kingdom. Owo was never under our kingdom. No place in Yorùbá land was ever under your Benin kingdom. Because even your Benin kingdom, the northern part of your Benin kingdom were raided several times by Yoruba kingdoms, and nothing your Oba could do about it. Ogedengbe Agbogboro was begged by your Oba not to overrun Benin. Now, they come on social media, they tell us, say, una conquer us, una do this, una do that. Well, your Oba was practically begging Ogedengbe Agbogboro with gifts, not to overrun the whole of Benin. Now you come on the social media chest beats and say that you were the one who did or was under you. Was under you.
Mr. Ready?
I'm here. Should I send it?
Yeah. So you're in Muyi, right?
Me too. Remember?
Taiwan is also okay for me. No, getting Morogo. Yeah.
So this your.
Hello,
this your
oh my God. Let me do it again.
Fantasist tale about Benin becoming was an empire, was this you founded everywhere. You've not been able to tell me. Yeah, where you people founded in Ekiti.
I didn't say we founded anywhere in Ekiti.
Okay.
I said it was under our kingdom.
Which under your kingdom? Where in Ekiti? Where?
Can I say? Let me say this.
Where in Ekiti? You were telling someone yes or no. Where in Ekiti? Give me a name. Give me a name.
I should give you a name.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you. What is Adu Ekiti?
Don't ask me. Where in Ekiti?
Akure was under Benin Kingdom.
Akure was
not
never
Benin
under
Kingdom.
Benin Kingdom.
Your people were settlers there.
In Akure,
Settlers,
yes.
traders.
Even Italy was under Benin Kingdom. Let me prove it to you.
Even Japan, when
Japan
you have Edo,
Yeah,
the Edo
and
how you will know
Japan.
Italy? How you will know Italy is under Benin Kingdom is you
Can I say
Edo
something?
people
Can I say
vote
something?
Italy.
Can I say something?
China self.
let me give you your answer. All this one that so there's a man called Donsi Ohadike, because they said you read, you're educated. If you've ever read anything about Anioma or Ekume Ekuwo, that man is the authoritative, is the Anioma historian. Now, what did the man tell us about Benin? This is what Donsi Ohadike wrote in Anioma, A Social History. This is what he said about Benin. He said, indeed, many of the distortions about the power of Benin were initially fostered by the early European visitors to West Africa. What the man is saying is that Benin was never powerful. In short, let me even read the paragraph before to let you know that Benin, it was saying Benin, all this is they tell about you about Benin, even about our own area. He said it's a lie that Ubuluku kicked Benin out as at 1750 from that old Anioma area. And Benin couldn't go back. From that 1750, it was just Ubuluku, the old, what you call empire, they kicked you out. 1750, you couldn't go back. Hold on, I'm reading here. You open your mic only when you have evidence. I have evidence, so I will read this in context. It said, Alan Ryder has noted that the Benin Empire had.
Mr.
Okay. Did I go on? Yeah. Alan Ryder, I'm reading from page 63 of Donsi Ohadike's book. Right? You see, as I'm giving you reference, I'm not telling you it's in one archive that is not accessible. I'm going to read from that book. Anioma, go and buy the book so that you understand the Anioma area. Say, Alan Ryder has noted that the Benin Empire had, in quotes, a somewhat informal character, and that, in quotes, only the central area within easy reach of the capital ever came under the permanent supervision of the Oba. Only the central area within easy reach of the capital ever came under the permanent supervision of the Oba. Elsewhere, Ryder continued.
Only the central area?
Can you hold on? Have you done literature review before? The guy is contrasting what Ryder said to show his inconsistency. He said, elsewhere, Ryder continued, some of the bonds which existed between Benin and the vessel state were as light as air, demanding little than a formal acknowledgement of the Oba at the beginning of his reign and a friendly attitude thereafter. We have seen how the Obi of Ubuluku sent messengers to the Oba of Benin in 1876 to announce his coronation and to solicit the Oba's continued friendship. He's not announcing that I am under you. He's just saying, hey, I'm not the Obi here. And I hope we are friends, or else the way my ancestors beat you in 1750, I'll continue to 1876. If you've read the book, hold on. I'm reading. Okay. So, however, it has been traditional for historians to imagine that parts of the Igbo culture area, especially Anioma, had been brought under the effective domination of Benin. There might have been periods of effective control in certain locations, but because of the in quote of the informal character of Benin's rule, the Obas could not have possibly exercised a long-lasting sovereignty over the conquered territories. Hence, the frequent changes of the vassal states refusing to pay, in quote, the usual tribute. The historians may have assigned an undue importance to the concept of a clear-cut Benin conquest of these territories. I'll repeat again. Thus, historians may have assigned an undue importance to the concept of a clear-cut Benin conquest of these territories. Indeed, many of the distortions about the power of Benin were initially fostered by the early European visitors to West Africa. That is, Benin was not great. These Europeans, they just saw this and they overhype it. Even
that's not what that statement means.
You understand English?
Yes, it means that it was the Portuguese
What is the meaning of
that empowered
distortion?
us. That's what that statement means.
Wait,
Do you understand the
Can you read
distortion?
that line again? Let everybody hear it.
Indeed, many of the distortions about the power
Many
of Benin.
distortions of
Distortion.
their power. Hold on.
That's
Hold on. You did
speculation.
not say many of the giving them guns. Distortion means that you change something from what it is.
It is
Okay,
his
so
own
what they-
view.
what
That's
they change?
speculation.
He said,
No, that's what
indeed.
distortion means. I promise you. I promise you.
Mr. Remy, just read it. Just read it, please.
No, we must take
Indeed.
it one by one. No. You are saying
Hold on. We take
Indeed.
it one by
Because Olabala wants to cause extended confusion.
we
Let me just-
read
you are the
it
one
for
who
you.
wants
Hold
to say,
on.
let's go. You are saying, let's go over it very fast. Don't take it one by
Hold
you must
on,
go over it
exactly.
one by one. Indeed.
Let me take indeed. That is affirmative.
Pastor Ikeji. Verily.
That's very, without doubt. That's what it means. I have consulted things.
Exactly.
There's evidence. There's irrefutable evidence. That's what
Verily. This one is not maybe. This one is not
Exactly.
maybe. This one is not
I'm not
seems like.
speculating.
Verily, I am sure and certain of
I'm
this.
a trained historian.
Continue, sir.
I have looked at
Can you
things. and
mute
this
now?
is-
Why are you afraid of the information?
No, I want you to continue. Now everybody is
Hold
listening.
You will
on,
not
we are
die young.
explaining it for
Anytime
you.
you are saying continue past, I will tell you you're not that young.
Said indeed, many
Verily,
of
I'm 100% sure.
many of the distortions
Many of these
keyword,
scatter
about the power of
to
Benin
change something from what it is to another
Oh
thing.
my God.
were initially fostered
As then
by
they
the-
change the Benin history from waiting he not be
Exactly.
to waiting he be.
by the early European
Now
visitors
Europeans
to
they do
West
this one,
Africa.
no, now then change them from waiting he not be to waiting he
I hope you
be.
guys
And
know
I know this
what
one for
Olabala is trying
certain,
to do here.
100%.
Olabala, we all can hear English. Let him read it.
Yeah,
please.
that's why I'm saying it in case for you.
That's why we're explaining to you. Indeed, hold on, keywords there. Indeed, which means without doubt, right? Without doubt, based on my training as a PhD in history, authoritative historian of Anioma area, without doubt, there's distortions. That means, they have overhyped this place. They've actually exaggerated or made it
Mr.
look
Remy,
like.
just read it. Just read
Wait,
it.
see.
Why are
Don't
you
tell me
afraid
to
of
read.
information?
You
Wait
shouldn't be
now.
interpreting it now. Let me
Wait,
just read
see.
it.
No,
Wait,
because you say you don't understand English. You don't know what distortion means.
Let
So he's
me
not telling you what distortion
explain
means.
it. Let me
Mr.
explain
Olaborelli?
it for you. If you look at it, the guy said one. He started with the historians. He said those historians may have assigned an undue importance. You know what they say? Undue. That means the importance that person does not deserve to the concept of a clear cut of a Benin conquest of these territories. What they are saying is that there is nothing like that. There's nothing really like.
Yeah, just read it. You don't
Wait,
interpret
see,
it.
you will
Mr.
understand.
Remy,
my
Lagos,
question.
I think you have debunked this one. So what Benin
He
people
has
like?
not. Olabola, let him read
What
it
Benin
now.
people like? Let me say it out loud now. They
Olabola,
love
please,
the waters.
please,
Hold on now.
let
Let me
him
talk.
read it.
You are done now. Let me go back to my document.
Mr. Remy is not done. Let him read it.
He has muted. Are you going to force his mic to unmute?
Evans,
Oh my
we'll come back to
God.
Mr. Remy later. Let's debunk the Lagos
They
thing.
want
because
to model the
you
word.
understand.
Why now? Why? Let him read the document, please.
He has read it many times now. What are you saying? I beg.
He has read it several times. Don't use that as an excuse. He has read it several times.
Madam
Distortion.
Asa, you know, Olabola didn't allow him to read it pure and simple. You know
Leave
that.
him now.
Can I read it for you?
When I was little, Mama wish picking something to just dabaru everything. That's how Benin people behave when they see me.
Just like you dagbaru this statement.
They will just be hoping, let's one wahala just happen so that we can scatter everything and I will run away. You will not run anywhere. We'll pet you.
Olabola, let him read that statement without interruption.
Take juice, take jollof rice. Yeah. Mr. Yorùbá Global, let's go to the document I sent to you. So the one you are going to pin now for us, sir, I want to take the points one after the other. The one that says, he made a claim. Can you mute since you are not the one talking? Let's watch whether you would mute. Thank you. All right. He said, the place was never called Lake Echo. He said, did he say it? Abi did not say it, guys. Everyone mute Mute, brother. Did he say this in Abi? He did not say it. That the
He
place was not
said it. He said
exactly.
it.
He
He
said it was
said
not called
it.
a co until
I
they
have all the
came.
points he said.
He said they came. They are the ones that called it a co. It was never called a co before. Mr. Yorùbá Global, about PT, about the last picture, the last one. So I'm going to be quoting from a book written by a British official that was collecting history all around. They want to rule Nigeria and all that thing. They were compiling history about Nigerian people. The history of Lagos that they collected from Lagos. Let me say it again, no, because as I'm saying it now, Evans is hearing another thing. Evans may be hearing, oh, the history of Lagos, the man collected it from Kaduna. No. The history of Lagos, he did not collect it from Kaduna. He did not collect it from Bauchi. The history of Lagos collected from Lagos by Alan C. Burns. He was the acting governor of Nigeria at the time. You can see, I took this picture by myself from my public library. This is Burns. Mute your mic. Somebody should be watching out for Evans. He will be eager now to unmute. Please place your hand on his mic. Burns, I don't know if anyone can see. Burns is the name of the author. Alan C. Burns, you can Google his name. He's the acting governor of Nigeria. He was a governor of the Gold Coast in Ghana. He was a civil servant of the British Empire, in short. History of Nigeria, that's the name of the work. They were collecting history of Nigeria and compiling it for their Oga. Who is the Oga? The King of England. So let's see when they got to the chapter Lagos. In that Lagos chapter, they talked about the relationship of Lagos with Benin. Let's see what they said on this name, Eko. Is it when Benin people came that we had this name, or before anybody came at all, any immigrant, anybody, any settlement on that land? Let's go there. Please help us put here the first one, the first image. Thank you. And I would get a strong reader to help us read that highlighted part. Because Benin people will say, Olabola, what you are reading is not what is in the book. It's not what is in the book. Somebody will read it for us. No, don't go now, Mr. Evans. Can anyone read the highlighted part from this History of Nigeria, page 44? Can we see the title of the book? Still on this page, page 44. Anybody read it? If there's anybody in the audience that wants to come up and read, in case people are shy, somebody can come up to come and read it for us. Just the highlighted parts.
Can you zoom it a bit?
I can read for you.
Oh, okay, thank you. The highlighted part.
So, formerly it was known as Eko, which name it had received before any settlements were made on the island.
Perfect. Does this say the name Eko has been there before any settlement was made on that island or not? It was clearly stated. The name Eko had been the name of that island before any settlement was made on that island. Before any human being begins to live on that island, that is the name of that island. Who wrote this book? Olabola. No, not Olabola. We are reading, you guys are avoiding the truth. Says the person who has never provided even a toilet roll or newspaper. He has not.
So who now name it Eko?
So if they say before any settlement had been on that island, that one is clear now, Abi. All your questions will be answered. Just don't worry. Be taking it.
Clear that the founder name it Eko?
He said before, so the founders are not settled, the founder did not settle on it. He said before any settlement has been made, we will take it one by one. Don't worry. Be fighting yourself, but mute. So if somebody came to found it, that person has built a settlement on it. He's saying no. It's not when you build a settlement that it became a co. Before any, you can say it, any settlement were made, it has a name called a co. Can all of us, do we see that point? Do we get the point? Please type a yes if you get the point I just made.
No, I don't get the point.
Not you, I'm talking to human beings.
Who
If
now
you get the
name
point
it
I just
Eko
made,
if there
can
was
somebody help me
nobody
mute him now? Does
All right,
anybody get the
let me
point?
leave you guys. Let me leave you guys then.
Okay, wait, sorry. Yeah, read it by yourself.
Don't
Sorry.
run away, Evan.
I was
Don't
reading something
run
else. I was
away.
reading something else. Sorry. Oh, yeah, read it by yourself.
It's not about reading by myself.
Oh, you don't want evidence?
Okay.
Evidence does not
Evans, we
matter.
are giving you evidence, so you don't need to run.
So he
Be
said
a
evidence
man.
does not matter.
Okay, just read
Yeah,
it, just
just
like what
come
Remy
up.
was doing. Just read it, don't interpret. Just read it, don't
I'm not
interpret.
read. You can see it by yourself. Now read it now. Formerly, it was known as Echo, which name it had received before any settlement. Any settlement. I know that part is making you fear. Any settlement. Before any settlement were made on the island, it had already had the name Echo. So, in other words, after we have read it now, if you are saying it's Benin people that came to settle there and name it, that this thing is telling you it's a lie. Ematic Bay means you.
No, that's not what he's saying.
Okay, tell us what that English said.
Yeah, what that thing is saying is that it has no name because there was nobody settling there. That it is the first settler who came that named it Eko. That is what that statement means. Somebody has to name it a name. Somebody has to give it a name.
Wait,
Is this spirit that's going to name it? Is this spirit that's going to give it a name? Somebody has to name it. So who named it Eko?
Wait, this is funny.
I just want to say something.
This is why I like people. You know what? Let's do it this way. Ejeka Sheba, can we bring people up
Take
one
it easy. We
after
are
the
going to
other?
get there.
Sometimes when you embarrass them with a lot of people, when they see that, yeah, I'm in the crowd, though, I'm in stadium, I'm uselessing myself in stadium that has 1,000 people, they will quickly come to their senses. But when you give them the impression that they are hidden with 3 people only, they will go mad and be saying nonsense. Maybe more people should tell us what they see here. Type it in the comments. Let him
Professor
see the crowd.
Labola is not very clear. Maybe as in for
Don't
us
worry, you don't have
here.
to read it. Just
That's
type
why
what you see. Don't worry, if you can't see it, leave it.
No, I can read
Those
it.
who see-
I can read it.
Those who see it, type what you see.
Which I'm not
let
very.
Omo Yoruba
I'm not very good with this
I can't
TikTok.
Don't type what you don't see. Don't
Formerly,
type your own imagination. So type the words that you see.
formerly it was known as Eko, which name it had received before any settlement were made on the island.
Somebody saw it, they say, no, the people who came to make settlement is one when name it Eko. No, he said before any settlement on that island, it had been called Eko. That's what we see.
Can you interpret it for you?
Don't worry about the nonsense you're saying. Let's go to the next one.
Formerly,
Madam Asha.
it was named Echo. Formerly, it was named Echo, which name it had received before any settlement were made on the island. That's
Let's go
what
to the
it
next one.
says.
This is Alan Burns. Let's go to a newspaper article in the year 1982 when Lagos was celebrating 500 years of contact with the wider world. In any number, I reckon some number paper 1, 2,
Labola, can I say something?
4. Don't worry. I'm still bringing
You
evidence.
can't say anything because you had your
So you would,
chance.
Emma Sofko, you can say everything.
When it finishes, you can say something.
He has spoken. So when I'm done with my own, he will talk.
Number one. This one we show.
Look, method 10 look clear. I can see it. So what we have here, you can see here is a newspaper article. I'm going to say headlines. I see headlines, stories that made the headline news. The name of this newspaper article is called Headlines. May 1982. Somebody is unmuted. Maybe that person is intentionally disturbing us. We can mute him. May 1982. Evans, mute your mic since it's me that is still talking.
I'm not saying anything now.
So if you're not saying anything, if you mute your mic, it still amount to the same thing. Thank you. Lagos celebrates 500 years. So that Eko was celebrating 500 years of the contact with the wider world and so on and so forth. In this newspaper article, put the page that is relevant. Ibenyema were tiny. People will not see it, but I will read it. If anyone wants to see it on my Twitter page, I can pin it. So Egbe KGN, the second page of the newspaper.
Yes, it's very tiny. I can show it on my PC. Just a moment.
Okay, Ellie, zoom in. Zoom in.
Okay. I'm not
Thank you,
very...
Mr. Diola. The island was called no, not this one. Oh God. Yeah. Newspaper, the second page newspaper.
Okay,
Second
the King of Lagos, right?
Yeah, the making of Lagos.
This one too small.
So, shall I zoom? Can I camera and zoom a bit of a car?
I can download it, sorry, PC, so that's I'm downloading it. Maybe just a moment.
As you are downloading it, can I say something, Olabola?
Maybe I should be saying something because it's my time. But anyway, see what you want to say.
It's possible to solve.
Okay, I think he has downloaded it. Sorry, too late. So if I make Belosoju King here, show it to the face of the king. This is the king of Lagos. What name was this of this king? Yagbelosi name. The name of the king I highlighted. No, I highlighted it. You will see a highlight. The color red. Guys, if you see the name of this king, type what name you can see in the comments. Type orúkọ ọba tẹ́ ń rí yẹn.
Like Adeyinka Oyekan Keji.
Àwọn èèyàn máa sọ pé torí ẹ̀yin lẹ sọ. Mo fẹ́ kàn fojú wọn rí kán dẹ̀ type ẹ̀. Oyekan lọ́n rí yẹn, ọba Adeyinka Oyekan. In this paper, when they were doing the second, I highlighted a relevant part that is relevant to this name, Eko. Let's go there. I want to be more highlighting anyone.
Can I explain this like this?
No, I think it's clear. Even okay. Can people see it this way? A yes or a no will confirm. Can we see it this way?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Tabada shade the other way now. If you Tabada shade the other way,
Yeah, the other way better.
All right. So let's see what it says. What year was this? 1982, when they were celebrating Lagos at 500. You see the face of the king of Lagos there. So meaning that the royal house account aligns with what I'm about to read in that paper that has the face of the king of Lagos when Lagos itself was celebrating itself. So let's be clear on what this is about. Lagos was celebrating itself. The king's face is there. And this is what the paper on the page where the king's face is showing. This is what it says. It says, notwithstanding that the soil was very sandy and much less suitable for farming than that of the mainland, the inhabitants of Edo, this is what Benin people don't know. The king and the royal house of Lagos is speaking now. This is not me. I know in your head you are thinking, now Olabola writes this newspaper. He was born then, I wasn't born. The inhabitants of Edo, there is an island next to Eko called Edo. Pay attention. If you Google, you will see it. There's an island next to Eko. That island is called Edo. The inhabitants of Edo, the people who live on that one, the inhabitants of Edo had started to cultivate the comparatively less productive soil of the Lagos Island. In other words, the people where they Edo, make they talking for pidgin. Can you mute? Since you are not talking, muting also means you are also not talking. Thank you. The people on Edo, they use the next island called Eko, the Lagos Island, they use it for cultivation. That's what they use that land for. This is a common Yoruba practice. We get a place where we live, where we sleep. And apart from the place where we sleep, we have another land next to us where we farm. A place where you sleep, where you live, the home and the farm. The home and the farm. The home and the farm. The inhabitants of Edo, the home, had started to cultivate the comparatively less productive soil of the Lagos Island, the farm. Let's continue. They seemed to have been making use of the land, which led to it receiving the name what? The name Oko or Eko. No be me they write this newspaper. I promise I wasn't born in that on that year. This land where they use cultivate so, now you make and receive the name waiting Oko or Eko. What is this telling you? It's telling you that Yoruba word Oko is the same thing as that Yoruba word Eko. Just like the English word farm is the same thing as the English word. What's the synonym for farm? Get this idea off. What is the synonym?
Plantation.
Plantation. So in English, they can have two
Plantation.
words. Thank you very much. They can say it's not ereko. It is not ereko. So yeah, if you like people to debunk you, that's fine. It is not ereko. Farm or plantation. Both of them are synonym. You see it with your two eyes here. Oko or Eko. Why do they call it Oko or Eko? Because they use it for farming. Who gave it the name? You now see who gave it the name. The people who gave it the name, according to this Lagos newspaper sanctioned by the Royal House of Lagos, when the Royal House of Lagos was celebrating its own town called Lagos, it was celebrating. This is what they put out to the public. This is the information they put out to the world as at 1982. It is not Olabola. This Royal House of Lagos is telling you that this place is called Oko or Eko because the people of Edo called it that name. They use it for farming. What does this do? This information from the Royal House of Lagos corroborates what we saw earlier in the work by Alan C. Burns, who had written decades earlier in the 1920s. Alan C. Burns had written that thing that I showed you first, so that I don't complicate everything. I showed you something earlier, the screenshot from a book. That one was written in the 1920s. That man said, before any settlement was on that land, on that island, they don't call them Eko. That's number one. Number two is a newspaper decades later in 1982. Royal House sanction, as you can see, the king is telling you that the people on Edo, they are the ones who call it Eko. Why? Because they use it for farm, corroborating each other. Okay? Let's show the name of the face of the king again. Let's see the face. You might think that's Olabola's face. Let's see whether that's my face. Let's see. This doesn't look like me. It doesn't look like me. This is not me. Let's see the name of this man. Maybe we'll see Olabola written there. No, it's not Olabola. It's Obade Yinka Oyekon. Thank you. So now, as we have debunked that one, what would we conclude now? We see that place has been called Eko before any settlement was made on it. So what does Eko mean? Eko is a synonym for Oko, farm. You can call it farm, you can call it plantation. Do we still need more evidence? Let's do it. Let's go to another work that is even older than these two. This one was written in the year 1880 or so. That's actually any number 2 on your list. Number 2. Wait, Ketolo, let's read more. Let's read some more. There's something more in these newspapers that is very interesting.
Yes.
Hold on. You will still cry. Don't worry. Not now. When I'm done. No,
I'm talking about the newspaper. Yeah, I saw something beneath there. Can you show us that one?
Yeah. Let's read it. I would like to read. In fact, I love to read it.
Just a moment.
Go see the other side. Twisted. So it be red, on your information to about twisted the other way.
Okay.
The way you turned it the other time, that's the best way. It's a lot of me.
This side.
No, turn it the other way around, all the way 180 degrees, and then continue going like that. Okay, yeah. So let's read from the highlighted part. We'll read all the way to this part. So I'm a kind of continuous read.
Okay.
So wife Ajayi, that's a continuation of something. Let's see what that something is. I'm saying only wife Ajayi. Ibitimo highlight in red. I can't see it. I want to see it, sir. Thank you. So it says, let me read everything and I will continue. I follow Ms. Moshenka so that move to the next place. So it says that they seem to have been making use of the land, which led to its receiving the name Oko or Eko. Now let's continue. The name Lagos, that is the lake, was given to it at a subsequent period by the Portuguese. Let's continue. In due course, both the Olofin, who is the Olofin? The Olofin is the king of the whole area. Before the Benin immigrant came, there has been king in that whole area. His seat of government is in the Ido, that home where people live, not on the farm. The Olofin and let's continue, and his wife Ajayi. The Olofin and his wife Ajayi passed away. Okay, let's continue. The vigor and emergence with which they had repelled the Benin. What is this account telling you? The Royal House of Lagos is telling you that when the Benin came, this king and his people, his wife, they repelled the Benin. The Royal House of Lagos is telling you this as at 1982, when their information has not been corrupted yet. The Olofin and his wife Ajayi passed away. The vigor and emergence with which they had repelled the Benin in their attacks on Edo Island. The Benin attacked Edo, but these people repelled them. They sent them away. They beat them blue-black. The vigor and emergence with which they had repelled the Benin in their attacks on Edo Island was not forgotten by the invaders. The invaders did not forget how they beat them. And on the other hand, their own people held them in such high esteem the people of the Olofin and his people held the king and his wives and his family in such high esteem and reverence as had then to believe that they had become deities. And these people deified their king. Why? Because their king was a man of courage who beat the Benin blue-black, and the Benin did not forget this beating. They had become deities, and acting thus, they instituted. Sorry. You will cry after me. After I'm done talking, you will cry. But let me finish. Thank you. They had become deities, and acting thus, they instituted a worship of them. Ajayi was reported to have spent her last moments, and so on and so forth. So this is the part about Benin. I'm going to read it one more time. The Olofin and his wife passed away. The vigor and emergence with which they had repelled the Benis in their attacks on Edo Island was not forgotten by the invaders. And on the other hand, their own people held them in such high esteem and reverence as had then to believe that they had become deities. And acting thus, they instituted a worship of them. Ajayi was reported to have spent her last moment in uttering, and so on. So what do we learn from these two documents? I have shown only 2 documents so far. Document 1 said that place had a name called Eko before anybody began to sleep and wake up on that land. Before anybody began to sleep and wake up on that island, it already has a name called Eko. That's the document 1 from 1920s. And this second document, that has the stamp of Olabala, no, the stamp of Obayekon's face. This one said that place called Eko was called Eko because the people on Edo who owned it were using it for farming, aka Oko or Eko. So we already have an idea what Eko means now. Eko is a synonym to farm. That's what it means from this newspaper that was stamped by the face of the king. And it talks about how the Benin people were beaten back blue-black by the king of the area. And let's go to another document now from even decades earlier than these 2.
Can I debunk all those ones first?
Oh, you want to debunk the king of Lagos? Go ahead.
Yes. Number one, you
want to debunk him?
Let me say something. Number one, you said it was Ashikba. It was the Benin that gave Ashikba the permission, a Yorùbá man, to be the first king.
We're not there. We're not there yet. You always
be beating black and blue. How come it's a Benin king that is not giving him permission to be the king?
We will get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. Right. Is that the debunk or the question?
Because it's one of the debunk.
That's a question. Many people so the debunk does not mean when I open my mouth and hit my lips together and words come out, then that's debunk. That's not the meaning of. Check your dictionary, you see the meaning of debunk. Debunk.
Yeah, so debunk it is to say, if what the king said, if he actually really said it, then it's false, because if you
wait. Are you saying the king did not say it? It's me that is talking in this paper.
It can be misquoted.
Read it and tell us the meaning now.
If it was written, doesn't mean it was the king that said that. The king could have been misquoted.
They are not celebrating Nigeria. They are celebrating his town. So they will not bring somebody from Bauchi to come and write on behalf of the town that we are celebrating.
That was the Oba's comment.
We have seen the recent comment from the president Oba of Lagos too.
And so the Oba of Lagos did not say that Eko means camp. Nowhere. Show me where he said it.
No, let me even talk of the Eko, and the Eko is not synonymous to Oko. There's no synonym.
You see, so the point you are making now is you are fighting with your eyes.
Magba only Oko.
So
I'm trying to justify Oko.
Sorry, I'm still talking. You want to scatter everyone. When you people think they can come at you because you are being disrespectful. Mute. So what I have shown, you have seen Oko, Eko. They use it for farming. Nobody named it that. No immigrant named it that place. Before anybody lived on that place, it has had that name. You have seen those 2 things with your eyes. What you can now do is that when you mute, you'll be telling your eyes, my eyes. What are you seeing?
Oko does not mean Eko.
You wrote it there, Oko or Eko. Oko or Eko. Oko or Eko.
Pronounce Oko well.
Haka was just being speculative.
All right, let's go to something that is stronger than speculation. Since the Oba is being speculative now, so he's moving from the Oba can never say that to, well, he said that, but he's speculating. Let's go to the second screenshot from the year 1888. He said they were using it for cultivation. Therefore, he got the name Oko or Eko. It means farm or plantation, synonyms. But let's see something more specific. Since the Oba, this thing you are looking at right now on your screen is gotten from a British document. In fact, you know what? Mister, let me show you let me send you the front page of this document that you showed. You can remove it so that it can be in suspense for the moment. Ellie, your crew can start sending saying, Eba mi yokuro, thank you. So I want to send something to you now. You will show us the front cover so that they don't say, "Can the title? What's the title?" Now you go still see by yourself now, and I will ask some questions. So it must send since yeah, we're hiding it from the public. They were keeping it for the Majesty, His Majesty of Britain, the stationary office of the Majesty. They were keeping it for them, confidential information at the time. It is in the public now because they've used it. Nigeria has already happened. In fact, Nigeria has gotten independence. The name of this book is called Precis of Information Concerning the Colony of Lagos, together with notes on the neighboring native territories with a map prepared in the Intelligence Branch, War Office, and so on and so forth. So you get the idea. Confidential, it's about Lagos, prepared in the Intelligence Branch of the British War Office, February 1818, printed for Her Majesty's Stationery Office, and so on and so forth. So it's a classified document at that time. Let's see what we have. When they got to Lagos and they were collecting information about Lagos, what do the Royal House of Lagos say about that land, their land that they were ruling? What does the land echo? What does it mean? I am not going to read this one. I want somebody to volunteer. I can even move people down if somebody wants to come up, I promise. If anybody wants to come up and nobody is reading it on stage, I would ask that it should be moved down. I would ask that somebody give the space for somebody to come and read it. I don't want to use my mouth to read it.
So it's among
Should I read it?
Oh yeah, thank you, sir. And what people are highlighted near the red boxes and the line. So you are reading the whole of the red boxes, but when you get to the red lines, you slow down. But you are reading the whole of the red boxes.
Yeah, but the car.
So the town of Lagos is situated on a low lagoon island, which is about 4 to 5 miles long by 1 or 2 wide. This island was originally cultivated by the inhabitants of Edo Island.
Pause, man. We are talking about Lagos Island, and this line is telling us that this island of Lagos, Eko, was originally cultivated by the inhabitants of Edo. Is it different from the information we see on that one from the Oba of Lagos? No. There are people on Edo. Those people on Edo are the one cultivating Eko. The people on Edo were cultivating Eko, the home and the farm. The home and the farm. The same information that you saw in that newspaper. This confidential document from 1888 is saying the same thing.
And it is still known to the natives by the name of Eko, which means farm in the Yorùbá language.
Pause. He said this place that the natives of Edo were cultivating, this place is still known till date by the name Eko. He now went for that. What does this Eko mean? It says this Eko means farm. In which language? In the Yorùbá language. Confidential document of the British War Office, the British Empire, published 1888. We can now continue the other ones just for the sake of information.
The name Lagos, signifying lakes, was given to it at a later date by the Portuguese. And Alabala, I'm also, it's actually my progenitors also that named that place Eko. I'm an Awori man, and Eko means farm in our language too, and it's Yoruba language.
Thank you.
Eko or Uko?
No, which one do you see here? Which one do you see?
No, I know. Which one is farm?
Which one do you see? Don't let us. So,
no, I'm
Mr.
talking
Evans,
about,
Mr. Evans, Mr. Evans, hold on. Mr. Evans, hold on. If he tells you from his mind, you will say he's a liar. Don't trust him. Trust the document. What do you see in the document?
No, I'm responding to what he said. He said in my language, in Awori language. So that's what I'm asking.
Those are Awori people now. Those are the Awori people talking in the document now.
I'm only asking a question though. Is it Oko that is farm or Eko that is farm? Which one?
Both of them mean the same thing.
Okay.
Oko
You said synonyms. You said synonyms, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same.
Both of them mean the same thing.
Oko, same. You know what?
Farm,
It's not only
plantation, kilatumanku forage, or whatever name you call. So synonyms exist in. I don't know about Benin. Do Benin have synonyms? Does synonym exist in Benin language? Just
They
for
may
the
not have. It's not.
no, just for learning
It's not a
sake. Let him
developed
tell us.
language.
In your language, do you have words that mean the same thing? Synonyms? Do you have it?
and Olabola, another see in Yoruba we have a lot of synonyms. Like we have Iga.
You know,
Oh,
so
we
I'm not
have
being on your thing come so on the internet. Yeah. So it's not cassava farm that means equal. It is just farm. Let's be less eager to put out information just because we googled it and one boy created a website and typed it there.
Yeah, farm means
Hold on. Prioritize official document than a boy that created website in 2023.
Thank you, sir, for correcting that. Our Yoruba people are fond of that.
Yeah.
Please, let's stop jumping around.
Let's
stop jumping around.
Concrete. Lórí àpáta yìí ló ń bu ẹrẹ̀ pé ẹrẹ̀ ló solid. No, this is official document from 1888 British War Office. Nǹkan tó ń gbà lẹ́nu wọn bàbá yẹn ń gbà yẹn òun lè ń rí yo. So the only reason why you don't value it, the only reason that ṣe mọ iye ni pé torí ọ̀fẹ́ ni mo gbé wá.
Can I say something?
Hold on. Torí ọ̀fẹ́ ni. So ìtọ́ ọmọ yẹn type lórí website yẹn kò sí níbi kankan kò hold tó lè kò wá official tó lè. So Èkó, Oko, ọ̀rọ̀ ìkan náà ni gbọ́rí mọ̀ òun ṣe skills òun lẹ ti wá mọ̀ yẹn ó jẹ́ kí ni wọ́n máa dùn àti ti fìyẹn kún ìmọ̀ nìyẹn. Bí farm nínú àwọn English ẹ bá lọ bá òyìnbó pé farm, is there another way you could say farm? Òyìnbó máa dá yín lóhùn máa ní there is another way. Ó máa sọ fún yín pé kí ni kí ló lè sọ fún yín náà tẹ bá sọ pé ọ̀nà òwúlẹ̀ tó lè gbà sọ farm tẹ bá bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ọmọ òyìnbó what's another way you can say farm? Ó lè ní garden, ó lè ní plantation, ó lè ní. So bẹ́ẹ̀ náà làwa náà ṣe ní tiwa. Another way tá fi lè sọ oko náà ní Èkó the same thing. Ìkan dàbí farm, ìkan dàbí plantation. Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń lè rí yẹn. Thank you.
The best way to correct
ẹ jẹ́ kó tó sọ̀rọ̀, I would like to say something, Professor Labola. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́. When
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add something because he said he wants to talk.
So this is how I would do it. I would put like that in cosmic in it. More appropriate piece synonyms in. Go on, sir.
Okay. So Evans, I'm going to also read something. There's a book. It's called, and this is an official document too. It was published in the year 1893. And that book wasn't just an ordinary document. The guy that published it was a secretary to the the court in Lagos at that time. So that is where, if there's any issue, so they went around and they put this book together so that they will understand the history of these people, the culture, when they are adjudicating issues in Lagos. And that man's name is called John Augustus Otumba Payne. Let me tell you, the title of it is the Table of Principal Events in Yoruba History with certain other matters of general interest, compiled principally for use in the courts within the British colony of Lagos, West Africa. So if you come to the court during this period in 1893 and upward, this is the document the British are referring to understand the history of the people and the culture. And it was a work that was given to John Augustus Otumba Payne. He was the one that went to the people in Lagos and the environs and then put down their history. So what did he say about Eko? What did the guy say? He said, it is called by the natives Eko, from Oko, that is farm. Do you want me to say that again? On page what? It was talking about colony of Lagos as an 1893 official legal documents that are being used. He said, he was talking about Lagos. He said, it is called by the natives Eko, from Oko, that is farm, and by the Portuguese, Lagos. Is that clear?
Thank you
I
very
heard you
much,
clear.
Mr. Remy. Another
Can I say
document
something?
entirely. So how many documents have we seen now so far? We've seen like 4. Let me just summarize. Number 1 was written by a British acting governor of Lagos, of Nigeria, sorry, acting governor of Nigeria, in his book called History of Nigeria, published in the 1920s. In that book, A.C. Bonds wrote that this island had received the name Eko before anybody began to sleep and wake up on this island, before any settlements were made on this island. It already had the name Eko. That's one document. Put it aside. In the year 1982, another document, when Lagos Kingdom, not Lagos State, Eko itself was celebrating 500 years in 1982, we saw the face of the King of Lagos, and the newspaper that they published, of course, must be by the kingdom itself, not from Bauchi people publishing on behalf of another kingdom celebrating 500 years. We saw the face of the King of Lagos, and the write-up in that thing says something. It says, the people of Edo lived on Edo, but their farm was Eko, the neighboring island. They use it for farm. So home, farm, home, farm. They live on Edo, they farm on Eko. And before anybody, in fact, he said because they farm on that Eko, that place had been called Eko because of the activities. And he put 2 words next to each other, Oko or Eko, Oko or Eko. And it says this name is because they use it for farming. That is from what? 1982, Lagos at 500. The next one, we brought out the Precis of information concerning the colony of Lagos, confidential documents of the British Empire, British War Office, printed for His Majesty's Stationery Office. It says clearly, almost confirming what this man, the King of Lagos, showed in that newspaper and so on. This island was originally cultivated by the inhabitants of Edo Island, and it is still known to the natives by the name of Eko, which means farm in the Benin language, no, in the Yorùbá language. Yes. And then Mr. Remy has given a 3rd document, tables of important events, I believe, Otumba Payne, which they used in the courts in Lagos at the time. That document also showed the word Eko. It's a Yoruba word meaning farm, aka plantation. The idea then...
Can I say something now?
No, I think we should even tell you that before you must talk, you must do what we are doing, bring evidence. But
No,
since
you
you
have
don't
brought
have evidence,
evidence.
we'll still
I
allow you to
want
talk.
to. I want to debunk your evidence.
You will not bring evidence, but you
You can't
with
you can't
evidence, oh.
debunk any evidence without
so you
bringing
can't
up
use
evidence.
your spit.
You can't use your speech to
Your
debunk
spit
evidence
cannot
to debunk what
debunk
I have
evidence. That's
presented.
what people
I
don't know
think
how
you
to
should
do.
also tell him how many Eko we have in Yoruba land so he can
Yeah. So
understand.
you can't be pouring spit and say spit has debunked evidence of 200 years old writings. My spit have debunked it. It doesn't work. So again, before you use the word debunk, Google it.
The writing you
Hold on now,
are
relax.
sharing here
You are not bringing evidence.
is
You will
by
not
the
let
British.
people who wants to bring.
No, I just want to make a
I
statement.
don't know how to
I'm
talk
not
over
debunking.
people.
I'm not debunking. I want to make a statement. The stuff we are reading now is by the British. The earliest one is by the British. And me and you know that by the time the British came to Nigeria, Yorùbás have already dominated Lagos with their high population. They've already made the Benin's population there to be insignificant. If we have to talk about history of Lagos, the authentic one, we have to look at the Portuguese document, not the British document.
Okay, don't worry. You will bring the Portuguese document. Don't worry. We will allow you bring it. We will allow you bring
Okay,
it.
Professor Labra, please let me
Notice
say
something.
this.
Notice something. Don't say that we are tying your hand. You want to bring the evidence. We are saying you must not bring it. Don't go and say that because we did not do that to you. When you go out, when
Professor
you leave
Labola?
here, Mompoma, when you
Okay, sir.
leave, tell people that they allowed me to bring evidence. I failed. I didn't bring anything. Don't go and tell them that I wanted to bring evidence. They told me, stop, don't bring evidence. Don't say that, because that would be a lie. And Usanobua and Oba of Benin does not like lies. Shebi?
We Benin, we don't say things we cannot.
Exactly. So to always be telling them the truth, I did not bring evidence.
Yeah, Benin always say things they believe that is true.
Exactly. So when you go out, I'm just saying, when you go out, when people ask, you're not allowing me to talk. You're not allowing me to talk on our own stage. It's not fair to me now. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. What you're doing is not fair to me. I can cry. It's not fair. You're not allowing me to talk.
You are the one that is not allowing me to say anything.
No, because we have allowed you to talk. We now said
I'm just a spectator. I'm just a spectator looking since.
You have had your time.
I think I'm tired.
So
You have had your
People,
time
maybe
and
you
you
can't
didn't
hear
bring
me.
any evidence.
Can you people type in the comments telling him, write his name and say, Evans, bring evidence. Evans, let's float him.
Evans,
Maybe
please bring evidence. If you want to, since you love to debunk, please bring evidence.
have we allowed Evans
to
speak on this topic? He has spoken. But
You had your time.
Easily verified.
what did he fail to do? He did not bring
You
evidence.
couldn't bring any evidence.
I can quote a source that is easily verified.
Bring the source.
Don't worry. Be
Bring
looking
the
for it
source
while I'm
and
doing.
read
Be
it to
looking for
us.
that source. Be looking
Like
for it.
the
Send it.
President Oba of Lagos. Like the elector
Oh,
of
the president.
Lagos.
Oh, wait. Can you
So
mute?
the
Can you
present Oba of Lagos will now
me mute
debunk an older Oba of Lagos.
Ọba of Lagos
Orí
ní
ẹ̀.
ọtí ẹ̀sọ́ nǹkan kan tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ má tètè agree
Ẹ
pé
má-
Ọba of Lagos sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ má tètè agree. Ẹ máa wá
In fact,
ìlọ́kàn
mo tiẹ̀ ní kan míì tí mo fẹ́ sọ Professor Labola kó tó di pé ẹ jẹ́ kó lọ wá evidence ẹ̀ wá wá
ẹ
láì
jẹ́ kí n fi
ṣe.
last one sí ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi last
Okay,
one.
ẹ ṣe last one yẹn jọ mo ní kankan tí mo fẹ́ sọ.
So no Ọba of Lagos ever from the beginning of till today has ever said a co-men's camp. There is no one single Oba of Lagos so don't let them gaslight you by saying, oh, the present Oba of Lagos. I want to know about Oba of Lagos yẹn jà pé that one does not know what he's doing. No Oba of Lagos ever said a co-men's is a Benin word. No Oba.
I never said the Oba of Lagos.
Why are you saying Oba of Lagos debunks this information? The information we are showing simply.
No. I said,
Can you mute first now? Mute first. Why are you being people like this? Maybe you came here, you said you behave yourself. I said they should allow you do this thing. You should promise in the comments. You see the point now is coming alive. The whole thing we've been proving since is one thing. The evidence I've been bringing is about one thing so far. The evidence is that the word Eko is a Yoruba word that has existed before anybody came to live on that island.
Oko, not Eko. That's
No,
there's a difference.
can you see the word EKO here? Can you see it on this screen? So guys, hold on. Guys,
That's
look
fabrication.
At this. It's a fabrication.
Something is wrong with you. We have
Can you
read
mute
about
now?
3 or 4 sources now with Eko and you are still saying it's a fabrication.
Yes.
Orí ẹ̀ gbálẹ̀ ni.
In the 1880s.
This is an intelligence
People
document.
like this now.
No, hold on now, Adi Ankara. What Professor Labola has there is an intelligence document. Even if they want to lie to you, they will not lie to themselves.
Has it something they want to keep to themselves?
This is an intelligence
So who
document.
are they lying to? Something they want to, something they call confidential. So they
they
want
are
to
lying
lie to
to-
themselves.
They are
I
lying
gotta
to
leave you guys
small.
now.
They are lying to small Evans who they did not know
No.
would
So
be
if they are
banned.
publishing it for the public, I can understand the lie. They want to deceive
Exactly.
the public. Something they are trying to keep and hide away from the public. Like, do you people think? Hey, gosh.
Excuse
So
me, Mr.
hold on,
Labola.
just mute there.
I gotta
Just
leave
mute.
you
I know
guys
it's
now.
paining you, so
I
don't
gotta
worry.
leave you guys now. It's
I know
afternoon
it's-
here.
Thinking is forbidding
go,
for
don't go,
Ovien Oba.
No, it's afternoon here and
Thinking
it's New Year Day. I gotta leave now.
It's night here.
You can't
so.
leave or you started something. Please receive
So let's do the last
all
one.
your responses.
Anyway, if you are listening, if you leave, you can still be listening. But I would prefer that you stay.
It's afternoon here in America. I'm going somewhere.
Let's listen to the last one. It's just
Listen
one
to
more.
the last one. I'll be fast
That's
with
the
it. I'll be
last one.
fast. I'll be fast. Mr. About Posty, who Ashikba is from the old account of the British governor of Nigeria. Who Ashikba is in here, it only blue and red highlights here before the newspaper. Just before the newspaper, actually. This is a confidential document. The word I'm seeing here is Eko, means farm. Eko. Eko. I'll be saying it till their hearts bleed. Eko
Are you there?
means farm in the Yoruba language.
I'm back.
Eko means farm in the Yoruba language. Eko.
Professor Labola, I think he just came back, the host. He just came back.
So host, ẹ bá mi gbé ìkan sí èyí tí ó wà just before the newspapers. Just before the newspapers. Help me put that one.
Okay.
But before you put that, I'll be saying Eko means farm in the Yoruba, as we can see it here with our 2 eyes. Evans, you know who to complain to. Complain to your eyes. Tell your eyes, my eyes, what have you seen today? This is unfair. Can somebody read?
You
Hold
said
on.
it's a synonym.
Hold on. A volunteer reader, a job, a strong reader. Baba, in fact, I would prefer Baba Wuri again. Baba Wuri Mokini Ika.
Yeah,
Baba
actually,
Wuri. Oh, you want to say something, sir?
no. Is it the same book or?
So this document we're reading is another one. It's the one we read earlier, the one by Alan Burns, the British governor of Nigeria, who wrote a book called History of Nigeria. They were collecting the history of Nigeria tribe by tribe, ethnic group by ethnic group. Everything is in that book. If you are Hausa man, go into that book, you will see the history of your people. If you are Benin, you are there. Calabar, you dey inside. Anybody dey inside. This chapter is about Lagos and Benin. What did this man collect from Lagos? This governor of Nigeria, compiling history for his orgasm in the UK. What did he have inside this book? Let's see whether it confirms what the king of Lagos said decades later in 1982. Ebawaka.
So where do I start from? From the beginning?
So at Okedesale, but we'll focus more on the highlighted part. Everything, but more focus on the highlighted part.
Some little time after the Olofin's death, there began the peaceful penetration into Lagos of settlers from Benin.
I just can comment in there. What we notice here is in stark contradiction to what Evans was saying without evidence. Evans uses speed, but Evans say my speed is sufficient. No, your speed is not sufficient. Evidence is saying that the Benin came, there were people there already. Notice some little time after the Olofin's death, there are people in the area using the land for farming. In fact, Arumire later camped on the island long before. When you were coming peacefully. We will see why you came peacefully now. Peaceful penetration into Lagos. Continue, sir.
The Benins probably realized that they would not be able to occupy Lagos by force, as they had already been so decisively beaten in their attacks on Edo.
Thank you, sir. I get a comment in there. Can you echo the comment? The comment I've been stressing. So he said here that the Benin's, of course, they came in peacefully. The people were already in the area. They met them there. Obviously, they had a king. Why did they come in peacefully? Because before they had come before and they don't beat them. What does this remind you of? It reminds you of that newspaper that we saw earlier that has the face of the king of Lagos. 2 different documents of old saying the same thing. They had already beaten them on their attacks on Edo. That is why they came back this time peacefully. Ejeka, continue.
And it is thought that they were also prevented from further aggression by the superstitious fear. The dying wife of the Olofin having pronounced a terrible curse on any further invasion from Benin. Whatever may have been the reason, the Benin arrived with no great show of force, and permission was asked of the Lagos people for them to land. This permission was granted.
Ejek can comment. So when the Benin came, what did they do this time? Instead of doing goro that would cause them to be beaten again, rather this time they came in peacefully and they asked for what? They asked for, I think you are echoing, Evans. Can you mute? Thank you, Evans, since you are not saying anything. They asked for permission. Who are they asking for permission from? Benin people will tell you, of course, now they were asking for permission from the goats and stick and the grass and the lagoon. No. And the fish, no. They were asking for permission from the human beings that own the place. Permission was asked of the Lagos people for them to land. This permission was granted. They were not asking for permission from the sand, the grasses, the trees, the fishes.
Can I say something, sir?
No, you will not use your spit to distort fact. We are reading fact. Your spit is worthless. Mute. Thank you.
What you are reading is what I want to ask question.
You would ask when we are done. Distortions and interruption, we don't know what it may get to. It may throw everything out of balance and we close this space. That's why we must finish one before the next.
Anyway, guys, I can't leave you guys there.
Can you mute? Your question is very important. You will do it after. Thank you. Oh, Baba Awori has left. Let me continue. Some little time after the Olofin's death, there began the peaceful penetration into Lagos of settlers from Benin. The Beninese probably realized that they would not be able to occupy Lagos by force, as they had already been so decisively beaten in their attacks on Edo, and it is thought that they were also prevented from further aggression by superstitious fear. Okay, Baba Awori is back.
Yeah, I didn't know I was out. So, okay, now let me continue from where I stopped, right? When the permission was granted. So this permission was granted, probably with no very good grace. Although at that time, Lagos Island was very sparsely inhabited, and there must have been room for many more settlers. However, more and more people arrived from Benin hosts. Yeah. And although the title of the original white cap chiefs to the land were never disputed, the Benins gradually became the dominant faction in Lagos, and the influence of Benin became more and more evident. It was probably towards the end of the 15th century that the Benis obtained the complete ascendancy, and that Portuguese vessel began to call regularly at Lagos. Sometime after, the Benin began to attack the people on the mainland.
All right, let me comment on that place. Remember when they first came, how did they come? They come in Gorongoron. They did Gorongoron, they beat them. They now came in peacefully and asked for permission. That was how they entered the island. They entered peacefully. Now notice this part. It says sometime after what? After they had been in Lagos now, after they had settled them peacefully, they now begin something else again. They now began to attack. So you have to get it clear. They came in peacefully, lived there for some time. It may be 20, 50, 100 years. But after living there peacefully for some time, they began attacking some people. Let's continue. Sometime after Niketi Beresa.
Okay. Sometime after, the Benin began to attack the people on the mainland, and the leader of one of their marauding parties, dying at Isheri, his remains were conveyed to Benin by one of the Isheri chiefs named Ashipa.
I can comment. So when they were attacking people, they took the fighting and attacking to a place called Isheri. And when they took the fighting there, one of their leaders, one of this Benin group who came to Lagos, one of their leaders died at Isheri in the course of the fighting. The Isheri people, they removed his head. So when he died, one Isheri chief saw an opportunity in that buying. He played politics quickly. That Isheri chief took his remains, the remain of that Benin man, he took his remain to what? To Benin with his fellow Benin people, but he led them there. But one thing must be clear here. The man that took his remain is who? Is an Isheri chief, not a Benin person. So let's not confuse. The guy who took the remain to Benin is an Isheri chief. The guy who was spied is a Benin man. Okay, Eshegon, emphasize for us.
So, the leader of one of their marauding parties dying at Isheri, his remains were conveyed to Benin by one of the Isheri chiefs named Ashipa, who was anxious to secure the favor of the powerful king of Benin.
Information I gave is exactly what we're reading. A guy from Isheri, Ashipa, sought alliance with the Benin king. I mentioned it earlier. I continue, sir.
And Ashipa was related to the ruling house of Yorùbá.
Ashipa is who?
Ashipa was related to the ruling house of Yorùbá.
He's an Isheri chief. Thank you.
And the king of Benin, desirous of consolidating his hold on Lagos, appointed him king of that island. In this appointment, for which there appeared to have been no authority, the king of Benin showed great political acumen. The appointment of a Yoruba of the royal blood to be their king would not antagonize the original inhabitants of Lagos, while the vassal monarch would be bound to a suzerain by ties of gratitude. But to be on the safe side, several advisors accompanied Ashipa from Benin on his return, and this, no doubt, saw that the interests of their country were not neglected.
Thank you. So what we've seen from this page is exactly what I have said earlier. The Benin's were beaten black and blue. That newspaper that has the face of the King of Lagos also confirmed it. They came in peacefully. Okay, after a while, after peaceful stay for a while, they started attacking. In the attack, again, the chopper, one of their guys was killed at the Sherry. And the Sherry chief took his corpse home because he wants to play politics with the dead body. He led the dead body home with other Benins. He went to Benin to go and play politics with the dead body of a Benin man. He played his politics. The Benin king was very appreciative. They did a political alliance and he backed him to become a kind of king, quasi-king. That's why he said king without authority. So when he became quasi-king, the Benin king is said here to have been a great politician because of his acts. So what is the great politics that he played? Both of them played politics. Somebody played politics with the corpse of a Benin man. Another Benin person played politics. Oh, somebody's American. Another person played politics with choosing a Yoruba man, because a Yoruba man would not antagonize. So the people of the land will not be too resistant of one of their person leading them. So Benin King is thinking, if I say make I go take their land because we are trading there, and I should put my own man, that won't go hard. We are already there as visitors, we are trading, but if I say one of my people should take the land from them, it will be hard. So what I will do now, this man don't carry himself come. Let's use him to achieve our goal. This would not antagonize the Yoruba people too much because them.
Yeah. Mufe, I want to point you to one part that I think you rushed, which is very important.
Oh,
so when you go back up, right, it said Benin's gradually became the dominant faction in Lagos, and the influence of Benin became more and more evident. Just let me finish. It was probably towards the end of the 15th century. They started that ascension, right? It was towards the end of that 15th century that the Benin obtained complete ascendancy.
I want information. So I'm looking at traditions at a date.
Yes.
I want to call it, they wrote it long ago, not modern historians. So anything that has to do with dating, they are to be taken with a pinch of salt.
I get it, but the point I'm trying to say is when the Benin, when they obtain complete ascendancy, which means they have married most of their warriors there. And those are warriors
in terms of they became the dominant faction, they are the most plentiful, they dominated everywhere.
And their ascendancy is that
the immigrants.
They integrated, married, and have kids there. Their number increased right on there. And the Portuguese vessels begin to call regularly at Lagos.
Right.
That was about the time Ashikpa came on board. So just to point it out, like in Alaba now, they are there peacefully, they are marrying our kids. After a while, they will mix with us completely. Then something like this can come up.
And then a certain Yoruba man will now
and Professor Labola to just back that up.
Yes.
So this is from two things. One, and Olukumi, Happy New Year, my brother, Madam Masha.
Happy New Year,
yeah, and you can back me up, but I think if I'm correct, until around 1921, nobody disputed. This is the authoritative source. Nobody really disputed it. It wasn't until that Poknosin Obaseki came into that Ahmadu Tijani story. And then he came up with all this cock and bull, most of this cock and bull story about, we did this, we did that, which I won't repeat. And it was, if people are interested, it was also discredited. But it pains me today that even some Yoruba people will hold on to a discredited account like that of Obaseki, because most of these things were debunking. You can trace a lot of it to around that 1921. But outside that, I'm going to read John Arch. John Arch wrote a lot about Nigeria. So there's this book, Nigeria, A History, 1971. He wrote it in 1971, thereabout. But something he wrote there that tallied with what he said was on page 74, thereabout. So I'll just read. Let me read. I like reading in context. It said, it was not only the mainland Yoruba who threatened the early settlements. Benin also tried to invade Edo, but under the leadership of the Edo king or Olofin, the Benin were repulsed and their subsequent attacks were equally unsuccessful. Foiled in their attempts at invasion, the Benin began to migrate peacefully and settled in Lagos. And as their influence grew from within, they gradually became the dominant community in settlement. That's not dominant, but as the people that settled. But the Benin Empire was not
number,
satisfied. Yeah. But the Benin Empire was not satisfied with such pacific influence. Marauders from Benin began to attack the island's possession on the mainland. Matter never became too serious. However, because it will be recalled, the royal rulers of both Lagos and Benin were related to the royal family of Oyo and therefore were of common ancestry. Let me read that again. Matters never became too serious. However, because it will be recalled, the royal rulers of both Lagos and Benin were related to the royal family of Oyo and therefore were of common ancestry. The quarrels of their people were not allowed to rupture entirely the sense of relationship, and the problems were solved when the Oba of Benin, anxious not to jeopardize Benin influence in Lagos, appointed the Isheri chief, not a Benin chief, the Isheri chief, Ashipa, king of the island kingdom of Lagos, which thus became a colony of Benin, paying tribute until well into the 19th. So I just want to point it out that, look, they never captured, said they were repulsed, as you have said a number of times here, and they now came to settle peacefully. They also recognized that they were all of the same, family, that they are all related to Oyo, they are all of the same family. As a matter of fact, I have something that someone shared with me, their family history, one of the Lagos family. They even went to the extent of saying, you see these Benins that came around that time, a lot of them were Yoruba speaking. That was why Lagosians didn't even see number of them different. That was what they have in their family history. That's what they take to court when they are fighting over land, right? Those were the things. So this corroborated what you have been saying. I know you've repeated it a number of times, but this is another source to even corroborate. Different people writing at different times, confirming the same thing. How it must be hard to be a Benin person, to be so impervious to knowledge. Really, really hard. Prof, back to you.
Professor Lukumi, thank you. Professor Labola Eshe, the guy has run away.
So, anyway, thank you very much. I'm easy.
Thank you so
Happy
much,
New Year.
Thank you so
Mr.
much, Mr. Remy. Thank you so
Labola.
much, everybody. 1 second for Olukumi and Olukotun. Thank you for understanding my language. Yeah. Yeah. So the point is, these people settled peacefully, and then that thing that they did that made them chop cane initially, they still did it again after they had settled peacefully for a long time. They still went to go and start attacking people. They chopped cane again for the second time. Somebody died. And then Ashikba played politics with his dead body. And Oba Fini, who had his people living in Lagos as immigrants, the money from that place, they enter in eyes. He saw an opportunity to when Ashikba came. He said, okay, maybe if I say make I take that place by force, they could still beat us again. So maybe you would be the one I would use because you are willing to be a king. I mean, maybe without authority, but yeah, let's do it. And they tried their luck and it worked out with his backing. It worked out. So he worked out. Of course, it's not free of charge. He gets to pay some remittances as long as the kingdom continues. The kingdom which the king of Benin supported him, the kingdom of Achipa's dreams. That kingdom came alive through the support of the immigrant, particularly the king of one of the immigrant groups. So because it's not free of charge, Yoruba of Benin does not want to be a Father Christmas, you two have to, give me remittances from trade gains. This is the remittance that we know of. When they say Lagos was paying something, so this is very important. Lagos was paying something to Benin. Hear it today. The Lagos that was paying something to Benin is the kingdom, that Eko house that entered into agreement with the Benin king. Their progenitor, Ashipa, the Yoruba man, had a dream. The Benin king supported him. Because the Benin king does not want to be a Father Christmas, a Santa Claus, you two have to pay something back. That is the payment. It's a tribute of gratitude. And in fact, if you check the word tribute in the dictionary, that English word, that is not a Yoruba word, it has multiple meanings. The first meaning is something you give to someone to say thank you. So yeah, as long as the kingdom continues, you will be giving me a thank you because I supported you, I helped you at the foundation. But guess what the Lagos kingdom did? Around 1830, the Lagos kingdom stopped paying that thank you money. They stopped paying. In fact, British had not conquered Lagos, so British came in the 1850s and 60s. 1830, Lagos said, abeg, you don't help us, you don't help us. You help our father to found the kingdom. So some people interpret it to mean the Lagos kingship used Benin and dumped Benin. They have achieved what they want to achieve and they dumped Benin kingdom. That's how some people interpret it. Other people might interpret it differently. That they just choose, but it was not British that made them stop. This happened around 1830. British came in the 1850s or 60s. Yeah, so I see it as a case of use and dump because you wanted to establish a monarchy and the guy helped you with finances, with everything, support. Now that has been established, the agreement is you remit tribute to fulfill your own part of the obligation. You did it for some time and then you later stopped when there was no reason to stop. That is a case of use and dump, in my opinion. So that is the tribute anyway. It's a tribute of gratitude. Nobody conquered anywhere, as we have seen with our 2 eyes in this document. The other one that they say that, Lagos people are worried we're paying tribute to the Benin. No, that does not happen. The landowners were paying tribute to, that did not happen. In fact, it is the opposite that happened. Remember, I've just talked about one type of tribute. There are different types of tributes now. The one I just talked about is the one from Ashipa's lineage to the Benin king based on agreement. If we help you, you give us something. That one they fulfilled until they dumped Benin. The second one, which people say is not, it does not exist. It does not align with history. Which is the second one? They said the native landowners that the Benin came to meet, those ones pay tribute to Benin. People say it with their mouth, but the records do not have any such thing. Guess what the records have? The records have the opposite. In other words, this Ashipa guy, who is our family member in Lagos, we are Lagos of the island, you Ashipa, you are from Isheri, you are still related. But because you are representing the interest of a Benin king, a foreigner, who is still connected in a way, if we go to Oyo and Ife, is connected, but he's still a foreigner in this context. Because you are representing his interest on this land, you must be paying to us. So it is Ashikba, the royal house, who was paying 2 types of payments. That is the fact. So Ashikba was paying to Benin to fulfill his part of the agreement. Ashikba and the Benin people that they said should follow him, they were making payments to the people of the land. They were making payments to the people of the land here in Lagos, the native landowners, the Idejos. And you can find it in a document. I will read the document slowly so that you can go on Google as I'm talking about the document. You can be typing it in to Google. The document is called Modern and Traditional Elites in the Politics of Lagos. Ṣé mo gba orúkọ ìwé yẹn, Mr. Remy? I'm trying to recall it from memory.
Yes, Eboruke, yeah.
Kí lorúkọ author yẹn náà mo ti gbàgbé? I'm recording
Patrick Cole.
Patrick Cole, thank you. Modern and Traditional Elites in the Politics of Lagos. One more time. Modern and Traditional Elites in the Politics of Lagos. In this paper on page 92, it talks about the second type of tribute. So apart from the one that the Ashikpa lineage give to the Benin king based on agreement, there is another one that this Ashikpa lineage and his Benin friends, they pay to the landowners. And that is on page 92. Modern and Traditional Elites in the Politics of Lagos. On 92, it says, the relevant line says,
or should I read this as we're in a geographically different place so that they will know it's the same book?
Okay. So finally, the land situation was...
I can read it. I have the book in front of me.
Oh, let's read page 92.
Yeah, page 92. Yeah.
So that they won't say Olabola is just saying...
Exactly. Because Olabola has the power to change anything in the life.
I have superpower.
So I'm reading from that same book, Modern and Traditional Elites in the Politics of Lagos. And that's the chapter that he talked about land and politics, page 92. I think that's the second to the last paragraph on that page. And it reads thus: finally, the land situation was complicated by the theory that all land in Lagos belonged to the Idejo class of white cap chiefs. The Oba owned no land except that freely given to him by the Idejos. The other chiefs who accompanied the Oba from Benin when he first came also respected the land rights of the Idejos and paid tribute for land given to them. Should I repeat that again? The other chiefs who accompanied the Oba from Benin when he first came also respected the land rights of the Idejos and paid tribute for land given to them.
What
Should
page?
I go on? Page 92.
Of which book? Let them Google the book.
Modern and Traditional Elites in the Politics of Lagos by Patrick Cole.
It must be written by Olabola. It's written by Olabola.
Olabola has the power to take
I am the one that wrote this book.
I hope people are seeing the evidence. We have been bringing up.
You are the one who paid tribute, okay? Not the other way around. The only tribute that came from Lagos to Benin was an agreement that you can see in front of you right now between Ashikpa and the Benin king. Because the Benin king was not a father Christmas. And it was still used and dumped anyway. But the second tribute was coming from the Benin to Lagos people. Yeah, thank you.